When Jesus got out of the boat, a man with an evil spirit came from the tombs to meet him. This man lived in the tombs, and no one could bind any more, not even with a chain. For he had often been chained hand and foot, but he tore the chains apart and broke the irons on his feet. No one was strong enough to subdue him. Night and day among the tombs and in the hills he would cry out and cut himself with stones. When he saw Jesus from a distance, he ran and fell on his knees in front of him. He shouted at the top of his voice, "What do you want with me, Jesus, Son of the Most High God? Swear to God that you won't torture me." For Jesus had said to him, "Come out of this man, you evil spirit." Then Jesus asked him, "What is your name?" "My name is Legion," he replied, "for we are many." And he begged Jesus again and again not to send him out of the area. A large herd of pigs was feeding on the nearby hillside. The demons begged Jesus, "Send us among the pigs, allow us to go into them." He gave them permission, and the evil spirits came out and went into the pigs. The herd, and 2,000 in number, rushed down the steep bank into the lake and were drowned. Those tending the pigs ran off and reported this in the town and countryside, and the people went out to see what had happened. When they came to Jesus, they saw a man who had been possessed by the legion of the demon, sitting there dressed and in his right mind, and they were afraid. Those who had seen it told the people what had happened to the demon-possessed man, and told about the pigs as well. When the people began to plead with Jesus to leave their region, As Jesus was getting up into the boat, the man who had been demon-possessed begged to go with him. Jesus did not let him, but said, "Go home to your family and tell them how much the Lord has done for you, and how he has had mercy on you." So the man went away and began to tell in the Decapolis how much Jesus had done for him, and all the people were amazed.
This is one of my favorite stories about Jesus, and we are looking at these encounters that people have with Jesus and the impact that it makes on their life. I love this one because it's not just one person whose life has changed, but many people whose lives are changed because one person had an encounter with Christ. We have been examining these life-changing encounters for the past few weeks, and we're going to continue doing so today. This story is a great example of how one person's faith can change a whole city. In this view today, we are going to focus on an idea that change lives change lives. That when your life is changed, it makes an impact on the people around you. And that is what we're going to find as we examine and look at this story a little bit deeper. In our passage today, as we read, Jesus crosses over a lake, and he comes to a new area. He hasn't been here teaching before. It's kind of an area that this is the only time we really come across it. And Jesus, when he gets to the shore, there is this demon-possessed man. Okay, this guy has lots of problems. The people in his city, they tried to chain him up. They tried to, chain his arms and his legs. They tried to keep him from being able to get out, and he would break the chains. No man could subdue him. He was possessed by demons, and they could not control him. So they drove him from town, and he lived amongst the tombs, where they would hear him screaming as he cut himself. This man has problems. This man is demon-possessed, and his life is in shambles. And this is the first person that Jesus meets when he comes to this area. And this man who is demon-possessed immediately recognizes who Jesus is. The demons knew. There's something about spiritual warfare there that we have to get, is demons know and recognize Jesus. And so they did. Immediately they knew that this was Jesus, that this was the Son of God, and they knew that he had power. And so upon seeing him, they come to him and say, "Don't torture us. Don't torture us, Jesus." This is a tough situation. Jesus goes ahead and asks the demon's name. And the demon says, "My name is Legion, for we are many." Now, a Roman legion was about 6,000 people. 6,000 men. And we don't know whether there was a full legion of demons or whether it was just the idea that there are many, many, many demons possessing this man. It's not real clear, and that it really doesn't matter. What we need to know is that this man has troubles, that this man has problems, and that it is demonic possession that is causing it. His life is in shambles, and Jesus sees that the demons are tormenting this man, And so Jesus begins a conversation with the demons, with Legion here. And as he starts, there begins to look like there's negotiations. Now, can you imagine that Jesus is negotiating with demons? But that's really what seems to be going on here. It seems quite strange, but they actually kind of barter back and forth a little bit. You can send us out, but please, there's a herd of pigs over there. Can you send us into them? And so Jesus relents and said, that's okay. I'll send you out of this man. You will release him. You will set him free, and you can go into the herd of pigs. And so he sends them off into the herd of pigs, and the herd of pigs, about 2,000 pigs, immediately runs off a cliff, killing themselves. Now the people from the nearby town heard what had happened. This would cause quite a commotion, 2,000 pigs running off a cliff, and so they come out to see what is going on. And when they get there, this man who was crazy, this man who was demon-possessed, this man who they had put in shackles and chains and he had broken them, this man who cut himself and screamed and they heard it all night, there he was, sitting dressed and in his right mind. And you'd think they'd want to know, what happened here? What happened here? Now, any other place, this miracle would have invited you healer, Jesus, come to our house, come to our town. We want to hear more about what you have done because we've seen something special. This man who we know, this man who we've seen as demon-possessed, this man who has had this in his life since we've known him as a young boy, this man who has had this problem is now free of it. And anywhere else, they would say, we want to know. We want to see you. We want to hear your teachings. But not here. Instead, these people are scared. Instead of inviting him to stay, they beg him to leave. Now, Jesus has always been one to move on when the time is right. And being unwelcome generally means that he'll find a place where they will listen. And so these people who are telling him, we don't want you here. You're causing too big of a commotion, too much of a fuss. We don't want any of this. Jesus decides, okay, I'll go. And so he heads for his boat. There's a moment here that I like to try and imagine what it must have been like as Jesus was getting into the boat, and this man who had been plagued by demons, he comes up to him and he talks to him. He has a conversation with him. I try and imagine it probably was one of those moments where he put his hand on his shoulder as Jesus was entering the boat, and Jesus turned around. And the man said, can I come with you? Would you take me with you? This man doesn't really know Jesus yet. He doesn't know all that Jesus is about, but he knows that Jesus has healed him. He knows that Jesus has made him well, and all he wants to do is go with Jesus. He wants to go with him. Now, Jesus has turned down many people before who said, can I follow you? Usually it's because they don't have the best intentions or they're not willing to give up something. Rich people who aren't willing to give up their wealth and power. He says, sorry, there's no room for you here. Unless you can leave it all behind, you can't follow me. People who are stuck with their family and just absolutely that is the top priority in their life. He says, unless you can turn your back on them, you can't follow me. But here's a man who's different than everybody else who's ever asked to follow Jesus. He has nothing holding him back. There's no family. These people that were his family, they chained him up and sent him to live in the tombs. These people that were supposed to be his friends, his community, they didn't care for him. He doesn't have wealth to go back to. He doesn't have a home to go back to. He has nothing holding him in this place. But yet Jesus tells him, no, you can't follow me. You need to stay here. Now this is a very interesting thing to me. Because everywhere else this makes perfect sense. Of course this man should follow Jesus. He understands discipleship better than everybody else that Jesus has ever healed. He understands this is the starting point. From here on I go and learn to be like you. I just want to follow you, Jesus, and I just want to be like you. This man has a great understanding of that. And yet Jesus tells him no. Why would he do that? Why would he do that? Why would Jesus say no to this man? I think there's something important for us here. Because in this man, you know that there was sincere gratitude. You know that this man's life had been completely transformed and changed, and that everything of his heart was just wanting to go with Jesus. But Jesus refuses him. And he tells him, go home to your family and tell them how much the Lord has done for you and how he has had mercy upon you. Jesus turned down many before, but none like this. Why does he turn down this man's this request to go with him? I believe Jesus is purposeful. When he does something, it's on purpose. When he says something, it's on purpose. And I think that there was a reason that he told this man, no, you stay here. I think there was a very good reason. Why turn down this man's efforts to follow, his offer to follow? Why send him back to his family and his community? I believe the reason is evangelism. Jesus was unwelcome here. Jesus was being begged to leave. Everywhere else that Jesus has gone, they want him. Stay in my house. Come to my house. I want to talk to you. I want to learn from you. Heal these people. Stay around here, Jesus. And they beg for him, and he has to sneak off in the night just to get away from the crowd. But not here. Here they want nothing to do with him. And they say, go away. Please leave us. Just get out of our area. And so Jesus wants to make a difference in this community's life. He wants to make a difference in all of these people's lives. Jesus looked at this man when he came to him and asked him, can I come with you? He looked at this man, and in this man he saw a great disciple. In this man he saw a shining star for his cause. In this man he saw hope for a community that was lost. Remember, this town had asked Jesus to leave. They wanted no more of his message. So the only way that the message was going to be spread there was if this man stayed. Was if this man was the minister. If this man would tell what Jesus had done. If this man would share the mercy. Jesus sent this man back because he couldn't go there. Jesus wasn't welcome in this town and to these families. But the man who had grown up there was. And this man had something to share. Jesus understands that changed lives change lives. That when something has affected us, it has the opportunity to affect those around us. When Jesus has made a difference in you and me, then there's a chance that he makes a difference in the people that are around us. Changed lives change lives. I love that mantra. Because in the scriptures and in these encounters with Christ, we see that lives that are changed can't help but change others. That when something good like Jesus has come into our lives, that it can't help but to go out and to spread and to make a difference in other people. I love this idea of changed lives, change lives. I love it so much that I'm going to make you say it with me. I'm going to say changed lives, and then you're going to repeat. And you're going to say, change lives, okay? I think you can do this. You're a bright bunch. So in just a minute, change lives is what I'm going to say. And then you say, change lives, okay? Change lives.
Change lives.
Change lives.
Change lives.
Let's get a little bit louder. Change lives.
Change lives.
Change lives.
Change lives.
When our lives have been changed, there is a chance and an opportunity to make a difference in someone that doesn't know Jesus. When Jesus left this planet, 11 disciples stood there. Not a single one followed him in his ascension. He left them behind because there was a purpose. When Jesus left this man behind in this town, there was a purpose. Because he needed to go and share. Because this man needed to make a difference in this community around the people that he was surrounded by. You see, we get so caught up. We think, oh, you have to be a mature Christian to share about Jesus. You have to be a mature Christian to share about Jesus. I'll share about Jesus once I've been a Christian for a bit longer. I tell you that's nonsense. Because if you're a mature Christian for a long time, you stop making so many friends with non-Christians. Most of the mature Christians I know don't have non-Christian friends, and so by the time they're ready to share, they have nobody to share with. The best disciple makers, the best representatives of Jesus' cause are the ones who just came out of a life of sin, who just came out of a life that was trash and not what they wanted to be, but now are saved. Because they still have all those friends who are still sinking around them. They still have people around them that need to hear about Jesus, and they make great messengers of the gospel. If my life has been changed, then I need to have an impact on others' lives. This is a true statement. Jesus didn't change our lives so that we could keep it to ourselves. Jesus didn't share with us and give to us so that we wouldn't do anything with it. See, we understand the feeling of not knowing purpose. We understand what it was to be lost. We were lost once too. We understand the feeling of utter hopelessness and solitude and hatred by others. We know what it's like to be lost because everyone in this room was lost at some point. There was a day before we had given our lives to Jesus. For some of us, we still know what it's like. For those of you who haven't given your life to Christ, today is a day. Today is a great day to do it. Look at what Jesus did for this man. Look at the way that he changed his life, that he transformed him, and he can change yours, because changed lives change lives. Once we know about Christ, once he has changed our lives, it is our job to share him. Jesus has a plan for telling the world about himself. His plan is you. That is his plan. He has this plan that we will share with our neighbors and friends, that we will share with those who are lost. Scriptures tell us, so this man went away and began to tell in the Decapolis how much Jesus had done for him, and all the people were amazed. This man's testimony made a difference. This man sharing about Jesus changed a town. It was one man whose life was changed, and because of that man, everybody in his circle, everybody around his life were changed too. This man didn't get on the boat with Jesus, but instead used his changed life to change lives. Have you ever wondered where your place to share is? I'm guessing some of you have actually probably prayed, God, give me the right opportunity. Give me the right opportunity to share. I think so often we get caught up in that idea that I need the right opportunity to share. I tell you, I believe that Jesus has given us the place that we're in right now because there's people surrounding us that need to know him. And we are where we are for a reason. If you've ever wondered why there's not more Christians at your work, and you've ever felt alone like you're the only one, maybe in your family you feel like, you know what, I'm the only Christian in my family and nobody else is doing this. And maybe you feel alone in this way, like you're the only one. I tell you, if you're the only one, it's time to share with those around you. Because he's given you a mission field. He has changed your life so that you can change the lives of those people around you. Evangelism has been defined as one beggar telling another beggar where to find food. This idea of sharing our faith doesn't make us better than anyone else. It's the idea that we have been changed, that something good has happened to us. And we want everyone to know because it made a difference. Jesus went to this region and he healed a man. Jesus didn't change just one life there, but a community. Because he left a man whose life had been changed. We can have a domino effect. We can have a domino effect. He left a man whose life had been changed. One life changes another, and maybe that one changes too, and they each change another, and it spreads and it grows. This is how the gospel got from 11 men to us today. This is how the gospel has come down across generations and thousands of years. This is how it makes it across oceans and to new places. Because one person tells another, and that life change happens one life at a time. For the next few weeks, we're going to continue looking at these encounters with Christ. And I want to challenge you. Let your changed life change someone else's. Make an effort to share with someone what Jesus has done in your life. Maybe it's as simple as inviting them to come to church with you. One step. One step might be the open door. And who knows, maybe that person that you share with, maybe that person that you tell, maybe they're the next Billy Graham. Maybe they tell millions. But you'll never know if you don't share with the people around you. The next generation won't know if we don't share with the people around us. See, Jesus has changed our lives. And we have a responsibility to share that with others. Change lives, change lives. The praise team comes up. I hope and pray that you are impacted by a story like this. A story of an encounter with Jesus. Because there isn't an encounter with Jesus that doesn't change us. When we come into contact with Him, our lives change. My prayer for you is that your life has been changed, that it continues to be changed, and that you let that light shine so that your changed life can change someone else's.